The new fruit is finally about to be released in Blox Fruits Update 30. Not long ago, we got a hint about what's coming in this update. Someone asked, when will the fruit art concept results be released? And does voting affect the chances of winning? Admin When Loco replied, next time you see a bulletin, we will see the fruit winner. This could mean that the winning fruit won't just be announced. It might also be featured in an upcoming bulletin and potentially make its way into a future update. What's even more exciting is that we already have some clues about what this new fruit could be. But before we get into that, if you want a chance to win a permanent fruit of your choice, make sure to like and subscribe to enter the giveaway. Blox Fruits has been pretty dry lately, based on what I've seen from the community, but Update 30, or maybe even Update 32, has been confirmed to drop soon. I mean, they mentioned this around 2 months ago.
Well, we're working on the bigger content for y'all, so stay tuned for that as well.
Yeah, once again, this was said during the Easter showcase 2 months ago. They also said it's going to be a big update. Anyways, before we go further, if you want a chance to win a permanent fruit of your choice, smash that subscribe button, because only subscribers can win. Also, make sure to like this video to increase your chances of winning. So, Blox Fruits' recent update have been pretty decent, or maybe they're more like yearly event. We've had the Valentine's update and the Easter update, and like I said, these happen every single year, so it's starting to feel really repetitive unless they add something insane with it. But that didn't really happen this time. Because of that, the game started to feel dry. Even then, it still has a massive amount of active players somehow. But anyways, the Venom fruit could possibly evolve into something like this. A Hydra-looking one, and we actually got a new information about it from an admin itself, saying,
the Venom fruit, it's pretty sick, I won't say, I can't say if it's a top contender to beat Dragon, but, I mean, it's dope. In terms of the name, I don't think it's gonna change. I think it's gonna stay Venom, to be honest. If it was a beast fruit, then I can see it being changed to Hydra, but no, I think it's just gonna stay the type of fruit it is.
Now, the Venom fruit could actually become something like this. And honestly, it makes sense because Venom has always had a Hydra-like concept behind it. Multiple heads, poison spreading everywhere, and that monstrous transformation. It already feels like something that could evolve into a much bigger and stronger fruit. And there's one more interesting thing Uzoth mentioned. He said the Venom fruit will be more like a dragon-type fruit in a way, which is actually the same wording they used back when they talked about the control rework. So if you remember how insane some of the recent reworks have been, this might be a huge hint about what's coming. Basically, we might be looking at another overpowered fruit entering the game. The developers have been consistently making reworks stronger and more unique, even for fruits that used to be considered average or common. Just look at the previous updates. Each rework made the fruit way more powerful than before. So if the Venom fruit follows the same pattern, we could see new abilities, stronger transformations, and maybe even a completely redesigned combat style. It might become one of the most dangerous fruits again for both PvP and grinding. At this point, it really feels like the game is moving toward making every fruit more exciting and powerful, and if that continues, the Venom rework might end up being one of the craziest updates we've seen so far. Dark fruit has been in the game for a long time, and many players feel like it deserves an upgrade. Now, if you look closely at some of the dark fruit abilities, you can see that they resemble a dark hole or a void-like energy. So basically, humans, there are no official leaks for the 4th Sea yet. However, I think we can actually consider this one a soft leak, and that's because it came directly from admin Uzoth. In this image right here, we can clearly see the entire map layout, showing the 1st Sea, 2nd Sea, and 3rd Sea. And what makes this interesting is how accurate everything looks. The positioning, the scale, and the structure all match what we already know about the current seas. But if you look closely on this side of the image, you'll notice something very important. There's a massive island, and when I say massive, I mean this thing is as big as multiple 1st Sea islands combined. This immediately raises questions because there is no existing sea event that is even close to this size. This island is way too big to be something like a raid zone or a temporary event. I mean, this thing literally looks like an entire sea by itself, and that's why I strongly believe this could be the 4th Sea. Another reason why this makes sense is the server limit. There are only 12 players per server, so creating an island this large just for an event wouldn't make sense at all. Events are meant to be fast, replayable, and compact, not something that takes up this much space on the map. Now, personally, I think if this really is the fourth sea, it's going to be heavily inspired by Wano. We could see islands that are very close to each other, unique environments, and a more connected world compared to the older seas. Of course, it won't be a direct copy, since we already know Blox Fruits has been slowly drifting away from One Piece to avoid potential issues. But the inspiration could still be there. So now I want to know what you think. Do you believe this image is teasing the fourth sea? Or do you think it's just a massive event island, even though honestly, that doesn't really make sense? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. So at this point, it really comes down to two possibilities. Either this new sea is almost ready to be released, or it's still deep in development and will take a lot more time to fully finish. However, considering the fact that the developers, or more specifically the admins, already showed an image of it, that alone tells us something important. You don't usually reveal something this big unless it's either close to completion or at least stable enough to tease. This image could mean that the fourth sea is already mostly done, and they're just polishing it, adding details, and testing everything behind the scenes. On the other hand, it could also be a preview build, something they created specifically to let the community know, yes, this is real, and yes, it's coming, even if it's not ready yet. Right now, the image only shows red, mountain-like terrain, which suggests that what we're seeing is either a base environment or just one section of the entire sea. That makes me believe there's a lot more that hasn't been revealed yet. Different islands, unique biomes, new locations, and possibly entirely new mechanics tied to this sea. When the update gets closer, I personally think we're going to receive a full cinematic trailer for the fourth sea. Something long, detailed, and dramatic, showing every major island, the atmosphere, the scale, and maybe even some hidden features. If this really is the biggest update in Blox Fruits history, then a long cinematic trailer would make perfect sense. So once again, if the fourth sea is actually close to being finished, we could realistically see it drop within the next few months. But if it's still in heavy development, then we might be looking at another long wait, just like before. At this point, it's honestly impossible to say for sure. One thing is certain, though, even while we wait for the fourth sea, we're not going to be left with nothing. We can still expect multiple major updates along the way, including Creation version 2 and other features we talked about earlier. So no matter what, Blox Fruits in 2026 is shaping up to be huge. Anyways, humans, that's pretty much it for today's fourth sea video. If you enjoyed it, make sure to smash that like button and subscribe with notifications on for more Blox Fruits updates, theories, and future leaks. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one.